So here's our demonstration for our activity number 2, the challenge. So we've got to draw a couple of things on here. So we're going to draw a cone. We're going to draw a cylinder. I'm going to draw a cube. I start out with a Y, and this line is parallel. This line is parallel. 2 lines straight down to make my book. Can I copy this line to make this parallel? I copy this line to make that parallel. Pyramid. Okay. And the circle, which we're going to turn into our sphere. Then I'm going to add some arrows to indicate where the light is hitting these things that I'm going to turn into my objects. So you can put the arrows wherever you'd like. All right, shading your objects. So you're going to take what you have learned and practiced with those value scales and apply it to these objects, little drawn things that I have on here, as part of your challenge. And so again, the arrow indicates the light source. So I'm going to start with the cube here. So this shape here, this face of my cube is going to be the lightest value. So I'm not going to really do anything with that. Okay, this top part shape is going to be a very light value because it's going to not quite have the full force of the light on it. This side here is going to be a little darker value than the top one. And my darkest value is going to be back behind here, which is going to be the shadow. And it's very similar for the pyramid because we have these straight lines. So the shapes, again, this is going to be white, this is going to be darker. Now, with curved things, the cylinder, the cone, and the sphere, it's a little different. We're going to sort of be placing some bands. So I'm just going to draw some really light lines vertically there. And what it does is going to be a gradual change from this area here, the lightest to the darkest this way, and from the lightest to the darkest this way. Like so. And then this top shape here, of course, is going to be like our cube and our pyramid, where it's going to be all one value. I'm going to make that a little darker because it's hitting more kind of right here. Same thing for our pyramid, or for our cone rather. The bands are going to go from the point of the cone, like so. And so it hits here, so it's going to be goes from lighter to darker this way in these little bands. And again, the shadow is opposite of our light source. I forgot my shadow, my cylinder over here. Of course, as always, darkest marks. And my sphere is the one that's the trickiest of all. So it has these bands because it kind of is a curved surface here, but the bands are in these little ellipses, kind of like this, curves, and it starts to look almost like a little apple. This is more of like an egg shape. Okay, and so they just kind of get a little bit darker in these sort of curves. And my shadow, again, is the darkest value I'm going to make.